Hi everyone, and no, bad start.
Hey, Brad.
Hey Hayden, welcome to our brand new role-playing podcast,
Yeah.
which we are calling Dice Mates.
Ooh,
Or
fresh.
Dice Mates, yeah.
Or Dice Mates. We
Yeah.
tried to get other names, but
Yep.
we'll stick with Dice
Yep.
Mates.
We settled on that name very, very quickly just because it felt nice and clean and crisp.
And no one else had it.
Yeah, and that's the important bit.
And Brad set it up within like
We weren't going to get sued
10
for
fucking minutes.
Yeah.
I was at work. And
Well, you're just going to drop the F-bomb straight on the podcast?
Yeah,
Okay,
fuck it.
alright.
This is how we're going. This is
Wow,
how we're rolling.
that's...
We're already banned on YouTube Kids.
Yep.
So we're fine.
No, my sweet YouTube's kids' money. I don't know if you get money off that.
Yeah, maybe.
Anyways, a bit about us for perhaps people who aren't going to be familiar with us as people.
Yeah.
My name is Brad.
My name is Hayden.
We are both locals of Canberra, Australia. If you're listening from overseas for some reason,
Yeah.
it's possible. Anything's possible.
Yeah. It's currently covered in a thick layer of smoke.
Yeah, it's super, super smoky at the moment.
Had to walk over here with a, what do you call it, like a balaclava? Like
It's like a scarf around
like
your
a
face.
scarf around my face, but yeah, I'd like to say balaclava to be cool, but
Very, yeah. You did mention you saw a bunch of kids on the way,
Yeah.
which probably isn't so much a good thing to
no, running out in the smoke.
balaclava around some kids. Yeah, who shouldn't be
Yeah.
out in the smoke anyway.
Oh well, I didn't look too sus with
Yeah.
a backpack on, sunglasses, and a scarf around my face. While smoking around.
So the first thing I figure we talk about on our podcast is, before we get into what our podcast is about, just a bit of background on our experience with role-playing games, as this is going to be a role-playing games podcast.
Yeah.
Would you like to go first?
I mean, I suppose. Yeah.
Right.
So,
What was your first role-playing game?
Oh God. First role-playing game. Are we talking now? Are we talking tabletop or any kind of like? Video game?
Let's talk tabletop. I think we're really going to probably hone in on the tabletop role-playing
Yeah,
games.
fair enough. All right, so my first tabletop role-playing game was probably only. I'm rather new to this. Like 6 years ago.
6 years ago? Okay.
Yeah,
Yep.
with a small group of friends from high school. DM was keen to do it, but no one else really wanted to role play, so I couldn't really do any. I had a lot of voices and stuff I wanted to practice and try, but those kind of friends pushed that stuff down, so I never really got to experience
Not the
it.
right kind of audience for the kind of game you were ready to play. Yeah, that makes total sense.
And Emma at the time, my partner, we that's how we kind of met. Basically, because she got into the role-playing bit, and I was like, "Oh, that's interesting."
Someone who likes it the way I like it.
Yeah, and I can talk to you about this and not feel like a weirdo.
Yeah,
so,
cool.
Yeah. What about yourself?
That's great. Wow, my history with role-playing games is... so I got into it originally by reading the webcomic Penny Arcade, as probably some people are familiar with, and the Acquisitions Incorporated campaign, all the way back in 4th edition Dungeons & Dragons, which doesn't seem like a long time ago, but it was a long time ago. It was almost, for me, just straight out of high school kind of thing, which is, it was 2005, 2006-ish, so quite a while ago now. So I DM'd and played in a bunch of 4th edition games, not straight away after listening to those podcasts, probably, I came back to it maybe 5 to 6 years later, and played through a whole bunch of 4th edition until 5th edition came out. Played a couple of games of that, and then took another big long break.
I'm really dumb here. When did 5th edition come out? Because, I think that's the only edition I've ever played.
Yeah, I would have to look that up, I'd say.
And I've heard good things about the 4th edition. Like, apparently there was, better combat styles. It felt a bit more natural, but I don't have any kind of frame of reference.
Yeah, I mean, there's plenty of content out there about 4th edition, but it was very much a game that was almost designed that they were going to put it on a web interface. It was very much like more of a tactical game than a role-playing game. Like, it honed in on, this is how many squares you move, this is how many squares you can reach, this is how many squares you can influence.
What did I have? Maybe better combat based on
it was very much about the combat and less about the roleplay, which is what I like about 5th edition. Is it was more of a return to roleplay and less getting bogged down in. 4th edition had a lot of min-maxing to be optimal, basically.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Which some people love. There are particular people in our friendship group that love that sort of stuff and hate the talky bits.
Yes.
For me, I like a good balance, and but I love the warden class in there, which was kind of like a fighter that's focused wholly and solely around maneuvering the enemies around the battlefield and giving your party free attacks. So sacrifice your attack to let your barbarian attack instead. And so it was all about
like a frontline support class.
Yeah, it's a frontline support class,
cool.
which 5th edition kind of doesn't really have at the moment, because you do stuff like the ideal combination, I believe, could be wrong, was a shield and a whip, and you'd use the whip to basically get reach and pull people closer or push them back, and then be like, right, now that they're moved, you hit them.
Side note, how do you push someone with a whip?
Great question.
I know, like, whipping someone in the face, you'd probably step back.
Yeah,
but
mechanically, it worked.
Yeah.
So, but that's kind of my experience. Has mostly been in the Dungeons and Dragons realm. I've listened to a lot of podcast content and looked at many other rule systems, and I appreciate them from a design perspective.
I've spent a lot of time on the internet too.
Yes, that's one way to put it, I guess.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's kind of my background. So in terms of, and you got any more to say on probably that subject?
Oh, I mean, I suppose the inspiration for this was actually starting with your campaign, which you hosted, like, for us, 2-3 years ago.
Yeah, it's probably been that long.
Yeah, and when you started doing all your voices, I was like, oh shit, someone can actually do this actually wants to invest some time into it and is fine with people, acting weird.
Yep.
And it's great. And it kind of felt inclusive, and I was like, all right, sweet, I'm going to try and continue this if I can.
Yeah, fantastic.
So yeah.
I mean, I'm really happy with all those campaigns, even the ones that failed. I'm still really quite happy with. From seeing how people get engaged with the content differently, and learning a lot about what works for some players and what doesn't work for others.
And which players you can actually deal with, as in the people themselves.
Yeah. Yep.
Because some good friends that I love to hang out with, I would not want to play Dungeons and Dragons, Mutant Masterminds, anything with. So, they're just not that type of game.
Yeah,
or at least the style we were trying to go for, which is more of the semi-role-playing aspect.
That's right.
More that kind of stuff, which they just don't like. So that's fair. That's their own thing.
And there's a game out there for everyone.
Yeah.
Honestly, it's the thing about trying to build the game that you want to play and get the players that you want to play with, which kind of leads us to what this podcast is going to be about. So what we're trying to focus on this podcast is, at the moment, short term.
Yeah.
We have an upcoming role-playing game that we're going to be involved in using the Mutants and Masterminds 3rd edition system, which I'm super excited to get my hands into.
Yeah, once I finally deciphered the manual, I was like, oh, that's actually really fun.
It is a pretty crunchy system and a large jump from playing around with Dungeons and Dragons 5th edition, which is very light on, very, very new person friendly.
Yeah, we can just look up a rule like that, which I mean, I suppose you can do the same with Mutants and Masterminds.
Yeah, very much so, yeah. And now that I'm getting used to how to navigate around that rulebook, I've got a better sense of where things live.
Yeah.
But my god, character design is an undertaking.
Yeah, I felt... once I really got it, it's more you just get an idea of a superhero. Get the idea in your head, like imagine whatever you want, like lightning coming out of his hands and blinding people with it, whatever you want to do.
Yep.
And then you can make it work. You can figure out a way to make it work.
The way I approach Dungeons and Dragons characters is usually as I look at a subclass and get inspired and work backwards from that and go, how could I make this work? Sometimes I get the design comes the other way where I'm like, I want to make someone who's like Thor. Which subclass fits that?
I'm inspired
best?
by something around me.
But Mutants and Masterminds I actually find that really interesting. You take the approach of, here's the cool power. How do I construct it using the rule set? And I can do that using the rule set.
Yeah,
it's not a problem to do so.
You can go wild with it. So it's also helping me get through some of the boring parts at work. Coming up to Christmas, of course. Yeah. So I don't know. It kind of allowed me to, you daydream a bit, and I like to fantasize about superhero stuff. I like the power fantasy. Imagining myself as Thor or whatever.
Yep, for sure.
Someone with the power of the sun. That'd be amazing. Yeah. And then you go with it, and the rule system allows you to fit it in with the maths behind it, which takes a bit of getting used to. But
yep.
People have developed spreadsheets out there, so
yes.
Thank you.
Thank you to the internet.
Oh my
God. I mean, this rule system's been out for a while, but thank you to the internet.
We need to find it. I think it's Siski or something.
Yeah, something like that. And maybe we'll give a shout out in the comments or something.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, because we're gonna have a comment section.
Yeah, we're gonna have a comment section. It's gonna be amazing. It's gonna be you and me going fuck.
What top blokes?
Yeah. SKIS 3E character gen.
Yep.
So
look at
Well
that
done,
character
you.
gen if you're
Amazing.
interested in Mutants and Masterminds.
It'll figure out most of the maths for you.
Yep. You still need to do a lot of learning to make it work past that, but it takes off a lot of these simple mistakes that you can
Yeah,
make.
and once the book clicks, that spreadsheet just clicks as well.
Yep.
You're like, oh,
Yep.
amazing, I can make 80
It's like-
characters a day.
It's like, I'm a superhero with this book and spreadsheet now.
It's like 3 weeks ago when Brad spared me with 8 characters in 45 minutes.
Oh boy, did I get an inspiration
Oh, it was
run.
good, though.
And once I got
Oh, it was
efficient
good.
at it, it was there's a lot of bad ones in there, but a lot
There's some
of
learning.
ill-constructed.
Hopefully there'll be background characters.
I've ditched most of them, so that's fine.
alright.
So we can talk a little bit more about the Mutants and Masterminds game coming up. So it's being run and game mastered by our longtime friend Jay, who I hope is listening.
Yes.
You're
very
wonderful,
lovely.
Jay,
I love you, Jay.
and we love that you're running this game for us.
Yes.
But Jay is obviously in the middle of moving into his new house, as well as organising a wedding,
And
and
you got a dog.
he got a new dog who is
It's
very
so
adorable.
cute. It's a
Shout
long-haired
out,
sausage dog.
shout out to Moose, who is hopefully listening
Yes.
as well.
And being very confused because I don't think I've met him yet.
Yeah,
I'm so upset, but I'm very keen
That's
to be
right.
meeting him soon.
one day. There's plenty of time.
There's plenty of time.
So we've currently been working on some characters and some designs for that game. We're at the point where we're almost ready to go. We need to just flesh out what our backstory hooks and things work out for the game. So probably the way this podcast is going to work for the first few episodes is what we're considering doing is actually role playing out some of the backstories of the characters we've come up with. We have main characters that we're probably going to play, but and once we go into explaining what the setting is, there will be some other support characters in the background that we can kind of tag out, tag in as well.
Depending how we feel as well. Might have an idea that seems to work at first.
Yeah, and then just falls apart
goes
first
garbage,
contact.
yeah.
And look, that's all part of playing a role-playing game.
Yeah, exactly.
You maybe don't get the character you want first go.
God, I think we did that twice in a campaign.
Yeah, we did that very early in a campaign, and maybe we can...
Those poor tieflings are now level 3 looking after a keep in the
Yeah,
middle of
that's
nowhere.
right, yes. They retired basically after the first, not even chapter, I think, of Storm King's Thunder, having achieved everything they ever wanted.
They had a keep,
Which
so
is,
they were like,
they
no.
gotta keep, yeah. That's part of the fun of Dungeons and Dragons, I guess, and role-playing games in general. So let's go through what we know about the particular setting. Oh, sorry, as I was saying, we're going to try and role-play through some of the backstories. No, we're going to get derailed a lot. I know we will. We're going to role-play through some of the backstories probably for our first few episodes of this podcast. Deciding which ones at various times we think is appropriate. As I said, we'll have main characters, we'll have backup characters. They'll kind of get treated all the same. I think from a storytelling perspective, it will be a little more railroady than your classic actual play podcast episodes, because we'll know what story beats we want to hit, because this is basically just a creative exercise to get a real backstory going before we hit the main game.
Because we need to get to a point, so we can't just,
Yep.
roll a d20 for every check and see how it goes.
Yep.
We could probably do a lot of it and work out some inspiration from it, but we do need to get somewhere.
Yep.
Which is a very exciting place, though.
Yep. But the journey will be interesting. Okay, so let's talk about what we know about the setting so far. So obviously, Mutants and Masterminds, 3rd edition. So our story that we have been presented with by Jay is a superhero game that has been inspired by series such as My Hero Academia, which is an anime with the superheroes.
Of course, Jay's a fucking weeb. Love you, Jay. I love you. Thanks for listening.
I'm super into that series at the moment, and it's one of the big driving forces for why I want to play.
Love you too, Brad.
So yeah, thanks for the call out. As well as things like, so it's a school type setting, so it's going to be like Fire Emblem Three Houses, bit of like Hogwarts, Harry Potter type stuff in there as well, as well as dealing with global threats being based out of this school for superheroes type setting. So what we know about it so far is that the school itself is called the Ark. And it was made by someone called Noah, so sick biblical reference there, which
it's
could
very
be ominous,
subtle.
could not be. We know that only recently have powered people kind of started showing up in the world. I believe Jay gave us a time frame for it, but it slipped my mind.
Yeah.
It was either something like a year or 3 years or something. It's not generations anyway.
But still a long enough time for shit to go south.
Yep. So during that time, the world has kind of, as superpowered people have taken over particular areas, the world has massively factionalized, so nations are kind of no more a thing, and its particular areas are under the rule of either powered superheroes who are protecting it, powered villains who are, this is my domain, ha ha ha, twirl moustache.
Yeah.
Or maybe like gangs or...
Yeah, morally dubious people.
Yep.
Like, you know, some societies don't have to have everything perfect.
Yep,
You know?
that's it.
Could be all about the money.
Yep,
If
absolutely.
that means anything in this world anymore, but whatever it's for.
And so that's kind of what we're looking at in terms of what we know about the setting so far. So obviously Jay's doing a lot of work still in the background to prepare past that, but that's given us enough that we can start working on some characters. So
At least 2 or 3.
Yeah.
At least 2 or 3 solid ones.
So I guess we can probably start talking about now that we've got that, what are the characters we've got and what we're thinking about with a backstory-wise solution. All right, so the first character that I've been playing with, and it's probably going to be my main character, is... Her name is Alexandria McIntosh, and yes, it's a female character, which is outside my normal range.
Ooh,
so one of the things I've challenged myself with this game is I tend to have some particular archetypes that I gravitate towards, which is charismatic bard, charismatic paladin, male heroes of the justice and honor type scenarios. Or, you know, the quick witty guy who's like, here's my one-liner sort of stuff. So this time I'm challenging myself as much as possible. It may not succeed, in which case, that's why I've got other characters for. So her name is Alexandria McIntosh, and her hero identity is Hydraxia. Which you can probably guess has something to do with water.
I feel hydrated already. Maybe it's this water.
So... I'll run quickly just through her powers at a high level. I won't go into a whole bunch of depth about it, but she has the power to...
I'm going to ruin this for you.
You can't.
Good.
You physically can't.
Good.
She has the power to turn into water, surprisingly enough. She also has the ability to transport herself via water puddles, so it's a bit of a teleportation type thing of move into one puddle, appear out another. She has the power to do big gusts of water from her hands as an attack. She's got a frost nova to freeze enemies in place. And she's got a bit of telepathy just on the top there.
Ooh, nice. Just to round it out.
Yeah, just to round out the character. I mean, that's kind of it. In terms of her backstory, I'm looking at a scenario where she has a grandfather that is like a tech giant, like a Steve Jobs type person who really wants to drive her into the follow the same career path I'm in, join the company, do as you're told sort of thing. And she is completely against that. So she's got some points in technology, investigation, that sort of stuff as well to show that she has that aptitude. She's very much trying to go against the grain of his wishes.
But she still learned something. She still can use that knowledge.
That's right, absolutely. And she has no problems against deploying it, but it's just not what she wants to do. She wants to kind of get her own path and not be handed it.
That's understandable.
Yeah.
Is that inspired from something in your own life, or is that just like...
No, it's just it was just a cool concept I thought to explore. And look, it's a bit of a trope as well, probably.
No, that's fine. I just like to see things that if people pick certain things from the story.
It's I like exploring tropes sometimes.
No, that's cool.
And I kind of like that. I also like this idea of the grandfather being this. While he's a Steve Jobs type character, he's seen by the people in his region or the isolated city that perhaps his people control as being the glorious visionary, but there's a real sinister undertone that
that's right, you were saying
maybe even Hydraxia doesn't see that her father is actually this evil figure, and it's he's a visionary, he's a great man, I just don't want to do that, but there's this real just behind the scenes evil undertone of
would that be like a thing that like most people know and it's just kind of downplayed?
No, I think I'd almost like it to be a twist maybe later on,
cool.
where it's it's not until the heroes are deployed to find out something. It's why are there these weapons crates with my dad's logo on it type stuff. Or
it'd be funny, like it'd be cool to see how Jay would work that in, and whether or not it's like it's different enough for you to actually, you as yourself, Brad, and impersonating the character reacts naturally to.
Yeah, for sure.
That'd be really awesome to see. So.
Yep. And like, I don't have any real ideas yet on what evil he's doing. So that leaves a lot of design space for Jay, and a lot of potential surprise for me.
Yeah.
It could be the old double twist where he's doing evil, but it's for the greater good. So he is a visionary. It could be the triple twist.
I was gonna say it could be the triple where he just turns around and shoots you. It's like, wait, no,
Daddy, no,
Daddy, no.
So,
oh wait, that's
okay. Too real. So that's my idea for my main character. Anyway, the challenge I have is I want to try and come up with a voice for for Alexandria, or Alex probably for short is what I'll do.
Yeah. It depends. Like she could be what if you say her father or grandfather?
Grandfather. Sorry. My brain keeps going father, but I want it to actually be grandfather. Okay. I want it to be like a real older generational...
So it's got that also generational respect kind of...
That's right, yes. You don't go against...
You can rebel against your parents, but it's a bit... You feel a bit rude rebelling against your grandma.
That's right.
Like, you're like, oh, I'm sorry, Nan.
Yep.
I suppose, unless your Nan's real shit, but, no, that's awesome.
Yeah,
like I'd like to see how that develops, and I'd like to see what Jay could do with the evilness, like whether it's a double twist, single twist, no twist
triple
at all.
Twist.
Just like, wait, what's going on? And you're just mental. Like,
yeah. That's
it could be a load of things.
So.
Like, yeah. I mean, I suppose just a segue to my character if you want.
Yeah, absolutely.
Anything else?
No, I think that's probably at this point. I mean, we might go further into once we've laid all the characters out on the table. Maybe we'll look at how the backstories. We could flesh them out further.
Yeah.
Let's go through your character.
Okay,
what you got next?
Well, my main character I was going with, I haven't really decided on the name yet, but it's kind of to spark the accent I'm going for. It's Pierre Marco, but it's, we're going to go Super Pierre.
It's disgusting.
Oh, wow, yeah. But essentially, so his powers are basically... plant-based, think more like roots and thorns.
Okay.
Not nice druidic kind of plants, but we're talking not also too
like lantana.
What? Am I too young for this reference? Oh no.
You need to get up to speed on your invasive species plants in Australia.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Maybe
it's more of a Queensland thing.
Maybe it's more of a Queensland thing. Yeah. I mean, I'm from Victoria and I sit inside all day, so
yeah. Okay. Fair enough.
Probably it. But yeah, so more like vines, roots, kind of stuff.
Yep.
Kind of Zyra from League of Legends style, more that kind of stuff.
Yep.
Without the shooting plants things.
Yep.
Backstory, story hook wise, I was kind of trying to make him from some kind of humble, possibly like power generation, town, city, islands, whatever we want it to be.
Okay.
Whatever we can find out to be. I'll work a bit more on it, obviously. See if it can work.
So works in a power station,
or at least works in a society that that's all about.
Yeah.
And I don't know whether we want that to be a negative thing or a positive thing.
Okay.
Whether it's a coal mine and he's super against that. I don't think I really want to fit in with the whole he's a nature boy, so therefore he must love nature kind of thing.
Yep.
But I really want to hit at the theme of abandonment with him.
Okay.
So
right.
I want him to basically his mother would have deserted him.
Right. Okay.
In this town, and so I'm not sure what's happened. Maybe he's awakened. His civilization. What I was going with, his civilization thinks that he's kind of freaks.
Yeah.
They don't want them, and his mother basically just locks him underground to try and save him at first.
Yeah. Okay.
But then just abandons him. Maybe he comes out a couple of days later because he thinks he's safe. Comes out and it's just like the whole fucking town's not here anymore. What the fuck? Where's everyone gone?
Okay.
Something like that. I still got to work it in, but I really want to go with the theme of abandonment because that's kind of something personal as well. Even though my mother didn't abandon me, it can still feel that way at times.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
Yeah, I kind of want to work that in a little.
Interesting. Yeah, I mean, there's a few different angles you can kind of go with that. Yeah, if everyone disappeared, that's without you knowing why. Yeah. Great, interesting. We've got a big gap that can be worked with there from a design perspective.
I didn't want to dictate too much of the backstory. I do want to obviously get to where we are in the arc.
Yeah.
But maybe that portion of it I can work with Jay. Whatnot. We can see how it goes. So.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Really interesting. Yeah, I like that. So what have you got in terms of powers lined up on the character?
So think more...
so you mentioned vines and thorns and stuff.
Yeah, vines and thorns. So it'd be more So I'm going with elongation.
Oh, yes.
So
yeah, okay.
and I'm flavouring that as the roots covering him would elongate, not necessarily hit the arms himself.
Okay, right.
I'm also going with he's missing one of his arms.
He's
using,
okay, right.
We're doing multiple limbs. I think it's a power you can use.
Oh, okay, right.
So extra limbs, it's called.
Right. Yes.
And it's a sustained effect. So I'm using it as a sustained effect so that he can empower it. So he has to mentally concentrate to keep his arm still there.
Okay, right.
And think of that as like his attack, using close attacks, but elongation gives you range on it.
Right,
so
okay.
punching people with that reactively if you get hit. I'm having like an armor of thorns kind of thing.
Yep. Okay.
Yeah. So kind of going with that.
People who try and punch you.
Spike people who try and punch you, and then as an aside to that, the alternate effect, some kind of adrenal thorn. So maybe I'm the more kind of support. I was doing a lot of grappling with the roots and thorns.
Yep.
So holding people in place, maybe saving friends, like capturing them, like re-energizing them with it, like some kind of adrenal thorn.
Right. Okay. Right.
Obviously still got to work it out.
Still playing with it.
Still playing with it, but I think I want to go towards more that kind of. I'm assisting, grappling people, like holding them in place, trying to not necessarily wanting to kill anyone.
Yep.
But holding them in place, getting everyone to calm down, work it out. Let's go.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah.
I really like that concept.
But we can work more on it, of course.
Sounds really cool. All right. I guess that probably brings it back to my turn again. So the next character I was playing around with is Tricks Magic.
And the next character we have is Edge Lord.
Is Edgy Lordy, no. Tricks Magic is... her real name is Sonia Min, so it's another female character. I'm not necessarily tied into that concept. If I struggle with doing female voices, I will probably maybe change this character to be male.
Oh, sorry, that's what I was saying ages ago. The grandfather idea, you could go with more of a rebellious aspect in that they have a tomboy kind of voice pattern.
Oh, yes,
so
okay,
if you're trying to work
right.
into a female voice,
I
honestly don't know how it's going to go.
To kind of, break it away of...
Yeah.
The grandfather could be like you need to present properly as a lady.
But sure, you're good with technology, you can come work here, but you still need to be a proper woman kind of thing.
Yep.
Maybe he's chauvinistic.
Yep. Actually, that's really interesting.
I don't want to invade too much in your ideas, but that's just kind of what I was thinking, maybe to help the voice, and that could be a story beat.
Good transition in. Yeah, okay, that's a good idea.
I'm sorry.
Anyways, Tricks Magic.
Tricks Magic.
Or Sonia Min is a master of portal magic.
As in the game?
Yes. She's just really good at playing Portal and not so great at Portal 2 for some reason. It's just this weird issue. The newer mechanics just really threw her off. I really wanted a character. I was really inspired by obviously the Doctor Strange movie with them opening portals constantly in every direction, and even in Avengers Endgame and stuff of being able to use a portal to redirect a projectile mid-air and use it against the enemy. So that's what I started with. I then worked out there are a whole bunch of restrictions on how many points you can dump into one ability.
How much did you spend over?
I spent all my points in portal. So I've since fixed that. So now her power set has flying. She can fly, basically like a levitation. I've got flight 3 continuous. Has the portal magic, so it's a whole bunch of teleportation, as well as I've taken increased mass on it, so it is the ability to, if someone throws a car at me, I can throw a car back, or I see a car over there, well, I can open a portal under it and a portal above them, and rule goes kind of stuff.
How much is the increased mass, do you know? Like how...
the weight level? I'd have to have a look, but it was pretty big. It was getting to the point, I don't know if after I nerfed the points down, but it was close to like a house.
Oh, wow.
Type weight of, you could just move a house on top of somebody.
And can you enhance that with hero points? Go... What's it called?
There is the ability. Quite probably. I haven't looked too much into how that system works exactly.
Oh, what's it called? You take an extortion point. And
that's right. It juices it up.
Yeah. You're super powered now.
Possibly.
I'll look it up and then I'll look like an idiot.
Right. Wow. Comments are going to be brutal.
My comments against myself. You idiot.
Dearest Hayden, it is I, Hayden.
I probably said it before.
You suck. Yeah.
Earlier in the podcast, I probably said it, and it's just you're an idiot. What are you doing?
Yep, that's right, exactly.
I'll give myself a timestamp. There we go.
Hey, Hayden, listen to this own timestamp where you said the thing earlier. So other portal. Because I couldn't just dump all points into portals, I had to come up with some alternate things that you could do with portals.
Yeah.
So the first one of the alternates is a Dark Sun Blast, which opens a portal to a Dark Star to unleash a beam of dark energy.
Dark.
Which is just a blast attack. So it's just open a portal and a whole bunch of sun energy just goes blah.
Please make Trixie from Boston get some dark energy.
Got that dark energy.
God. No, it's not gonna
Hey,
happen.
I'm walking here. From...
You can be walking using portals.
Yeah.
Terrible.
So the next portal magic I had attached to it is opens a portal to the far realm and the whispers issue forth. It is an affliction which goes from impaired to exhausted to unaware. So it's effectively some Cthulhu type stuff of whispers start pouring out of this portal, and that goes from slowly incapacitating the enemy into just making them oblivious to what's going around them. Their brain is scrambled.
Oh, that sounds pleasant.
Yeah. And then the last one I have is I'm calling it a Void Blast at the moment, which is very similar to the Dark Sun Blast. But it opens a portal above or below a target and unleashes a cold void in a cylinder. So it's just a big cylinder of cold damage that's like a pillar.
Okay, cool.
Oh, so you can open it above them and dump it on top of them, or open it under them and it shoots upwards, kind of thing.
So okay, so you could use it to move them as well?
No. So this one is more about it's just making it a blast that's an AoE. So I have the Dark Sun Blast is like you shoot it at one target.
Okay.
Whereas this one's directed. About making a big AoE that's just eat cold.
Eat cold. Yeah,
in
nice.
this big cylinder.
Chill out.
Maybe those puns will come in.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
Trix is it's going to be Schwarzenegger.
Yeah.
That's all it is. It's just Schwarzenegger.
Maybe I'll just change it to be Schwarzenegger.
Oh, God.
In terms of her skills, so she's picked up a bit of technology, vehicles, stealth, sleight of hand. Nice. And that's largely for backstory reasons. So the story I've kind of come up with for her is there is a war at home in her home country and she can't return to it. It's largely because in the backstory I'm hoping to come up with something, still working on it, along the lines of her government, which is some sort of now super military government as a result of the collapse.
Was it pre-collapse North Korea? Or?
I don't want to get too much into current world politics versus that, but I really like the concept in like the book Tomorrow When the War Began, where they never actually mention what the invading country is.
Yes.
I'll probably play it very similar to that. Where this new military region is set up, whatever, I'll work with Jay to find something that's culturally appropriate.
That's kind of cool. Give it a bit more mystery too. So if Jay wants to work it in later, he can.
Yeah, for sure.
Or it just kind of can sit in the background and it doesn't matter.
Yep, for sure.
Yeah.
But I want it to be this story of like there are scientists and military like war leaders who are she has portal magic. We could teleport tanks into anyone's.
Oh wow, yeah,
like,
true.
That's the story I want. Is like, oh my god,
we could just teleport all the bombs.
That's right. Is like that's the power we want. The power to just be like, they can't stop an attack.
Imagine how dead we'd be if that character was alive now.
Yep.
Like, I know that was a stupid sentence, but
you
can imagine it. How dead would we be if she was alive?
Yeah. Wow. So that's kind of a hook there.
Yeah, I like it. That's cool.
As a result of being kind of hunted by this, she has an active phobia of soldiers, military people in uniform.
Nice.
That sort of thing, which will be interesting too. If we go up against armed forces, it will be very much of a, don't like this.
That's really weird. So independently, I've kind of worked on my second character. So the one that I worked on, the light and dark character I made.
Yep.
That was mainly to test out how the powers can work and how weird I could get with them.
Yep.
And I've created a character off that, which is going to be a more kind of not posh, but a strict military family.
Oh, okay, right.
Like British, hopefully. I think that's what I'm going to go with.
Yeah, that kind of.
And he's going to have his own internal kind of fight between this light and dark. I don't know if we're going entity or just increase in power. Maybe that's just messing with him.
Yeah.
Still going with guys because I'm not as confident as you. We're going to a female voice.
It may be an experiment that fails. I really just want to push myself outside the comfort zone.
That's going to be so cool.
Yeah, that's right.
I couldn't. It's going to be so fun to play.
Yep.
And I was going with basically his powers come from a binary star system of a light and dark star.
Yeah,
nice
cool.
and edgy. It's great.
Yeah.
But you said dark star before, and I was like, oh, okay. I was making so he's got two forms. One will be more of an angelic light kind of thing, and most of the powers are based on healing, deflection, and radiant damage.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
And he basically he'll be made out of light energy, so insubstantial 3.
Yes. Yep. Yeah. Okay.
Flavored it as plasma or light, whatever it wants to be.
Okay.
Whatever we figured out with Jay. Well, it's not too overpowered, of course. Basically, I'll be able to fly with be able to fly as well. So should be immune to most like physical things, but not overpowered to that point. I can still be hurt and damaged and killed.
Yep.
But yeah, going along that more healer kind of nice route, and the style I was kind of going for is this nice glowing visage with these glowing wings, and then these black eyes that just kind of slightly bleed blackness out of them.
Ooh, edgy, love it.
I love it. I know, it's so good.
Yeah.
And then I wanted the second form to be just like, imagine someone covered in dark matter.
Yep.
And when their mouth opens, all you see is just like blinding, like radiant light.
Ah,
and so any crevice that opens, it's like
it kind of inverts, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
But I want that form to be uncontrollable.
Ah, yes.
At least to begin with.
Yep.
Like nice little story hook points, and hopefully can provide some interesting
Yeah.
RP moments.
Yep.
Yeah, and I think that could be interesting, especially if you're able to cast Dark Star.
Yeah,
fucking
right.
Magic. That could work, but I don't want to meta game it. So
well, I mean, it could even be. It's not necessarily a positive thing. It could. Be
exactly.
The first time it happens, it's like it absolutely juices the hell out of that character, and then we're like, but it's there's now a problem that we need to deal with in the middle of this other problem we're in the middle of.
So the other thing I was going to kind of play with as well, if I could, is if I spend more time in one form than another, it'll affect the character's personality. Not massively, but having been
at least
angelic all
gives
day,
some consequences.
Yeah, he may feel, and it's not always good. Like having been angelic all day, he may feel a bit smug.
Ah, right.
Like
okay.
I've just saved you.
Why
are you worshipping me?
I'm a being of pure light.
I'm a being of pure light. Like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
And having if he goes dark, by accident, maybe hurts one of his friends or whatever, he'll. Of course, that's this coming. Yeah. That'll obviously affect him, as a human mentally. But if it was, just he hurt a rando.
Yep.
But still in that kind of dark form, it would, take a toll on him. It's not going to be friendly.
Yep.
So hopefully the fight, like that kind of progression with this character, I want it to be more about finding a balance. So hopefully, flavor-wise, story hook-wise, something I could eventually merge those two forms.
Ah, right.
And I think that would look cool and play like fun.
Yep.
But that would be many levels later.
Yeah.
And who knows, the character could die.
Yeah,
So.
and that's right. Dies.
I could also become a villain and just instantly big bad, and I no longer play that character.
Yeah. Oh well.
Yeah.
And look,
that's how it goes.
The system has the rules in place for, in comics and superhero stories and stuff.
Yeah.
Those kind of giant changes happen. So it's like at any point you can just be like, keep base character and throw out the powers and bring in new powers or whatever.
I like the way Jay wants to set the campaign as well. He wanted to do more of a switch in, switch out, kind of pick your.
That's right. Yep.
Like think if you're going into Mass Effect, you land on a planet, you pick your companions.
That's right.
That's how we wanted to go with picking the characters.
Yep.
I assume Brad and I are going to have our mains.
And look, and
we're probably going to get attached.
Yeah, we will get attached probably to those characters. But
no, Jay, please no. Yeah.
Which probably leads me to the character that I'm most attached to, but I'm not probably going to play very heavily.
Right.
Yeah,
right.
Obviously I'm heavily inspired by the game by House, which everyone should be aware of, called Untitled Goose Game. Is I have made a Rocket Raccoon type character who is a goose.
When Brad, you showed me this, I think I took a good 10 minutes away from my desk at work. I was like, nah, I'm going to go for a walk.
Yep.
This is ridiculous. How did you get this to work?
Yep. So, the goose's abilities...
Here we go.
Is its core attacking ability is just biting people with its beak. And it has a super high strength rating. It's got a strength of 10. So it bites people, bites
strong
people
goose.
good. It has its advantages alone are lots. Has all-out attack, animal empathy, Uncanny dodge, fearless, fast grab, hide in plain sight, jack of all trades, improved disarm, improved grab, improved initiative, improved hold, and startle, which are all a bunch of very goosey things to have.
Yeah, it's a very advantageous goose.
Except maybe jack of all trades, but whatever.
Well, I mean, the goose from Untitled Goose Game, I would argue, yeah.
It knows how to use all sorts of tools.
Exactly, and throw them in a lake.
Yeah, so already you can kind of get a bit of a feel too that it's got a lot of stuff about grabbing and disarming and carrying stuff away. So we'll get into then the goose's powers, because of course the goose has powers too.
Oh my god.
It has graceful flight, so it can fly naturally. It has an affliction ability called aggressive honking, which starts by you honk at the person until they become impaired, and then stunned, and then paralyzed.
I want to see how that works.
Yeah.
Like, roleplay wise, I want to see how that works.
I'll go into how I intend to roleplay this character very shortly, because there is a incredible way to do it.
Yes.
Its next ability is called It's Just a Bird, and it's Concealment 5 blending. Of where, if he just acts like a goose and a bird, people just ignore him. It's just, that's just a bird.
Yeah, I mean, the worst reaction you get is, why is this goose in here? Get out of here.
Yeah. But they won't even do that because of the way the ability works. Is they could be in the middle of a secret bunker that's locked down from every angle, and the villain's henchmen bust into the room. It's just a bird. There's nothing else in here, and leave the room.
There you go. Unless they're tracking the goose.
They could be. That's not all he's got for powers.
Oh shit!
Next goes into the enhanced goose powers. Ooh. So this is how I deal with the problem of you can't just play a goose with a whole bunch of other players and be like, how do they talk to each other? This doesn't work. He has a psychic honk. Where he can communicate with others subtly. He also has the ability honking for all, which gives comprehend languages, animals, and it affects others. Which means anytime he talks to someone and honks, they can understand what he's saying as if he's speaking to them in their native language, even though he's just honking.
So to others, like to bystanders, he'll just be honking at people. And people will be going,
basically, because it's the thing
I agree, no, it's just down there.
He chooses who it affects, so basically if he turns and talks to someone and wants to actually talk to you...
You can make someone look insane.
Yeah, basically. So he'll be like, honk, 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 honk. Hello, yes, I wish to inquire about where the nearest enemy stronghold is.
I love it.
Yeah.
Can that be your main?
Yeah, I mean, the concept is strong, don't get me wrong.
I mean, what is this goose's morals?
Let's get there. Let's get there.
It's the backstory.
I do have a good backstory for it.
Okay.
So to finish up the powers, he has a long neck, elongation 2. So his neck is long enough to go around corners of corridors.
Right.
Just cause. And he has mind reading 2, which is what I'm referring to as thought bubble. So he can skim people's surface thoughts.
Oh wow.
Really restricted to what they're thinking about doing next. Much like in Goose Game, where it's they're going to go pick up the rake, so there's a rake speech thought bubble above their head.
Okay, I was wondering how that was working.
Yeah.
Okay, so I didn't understand what the speech bubble was. I was like, okay.
So it is not about at all...
thought bubble.
Mind reading and being like, I'm going to interrogate this person. It's literally just, they're about to come hit me with a rake, I can see that thought above their head before they do it.
Oh my god, this is great.
Yes.
I love that. How much time did you spend on this goose?
Not a lot, because once again, as we were talking about at the start of the episode, once a concept comes to you and you've already got it, the powers you can attach to it just flow naturally as you scroll through and go,
awesome.
Gooses have a long neck that they can grab stuff with. Here's a whole bunch of grabbing powers. Here we go. Like, punch them in.
Stuff. And like the startle when you
just honking at them.
Hop out of nowhere and just flap your wings.
Yeah, and they're like, oh god, I'm stunned. I'm paralyzed with fear.
I'm paralyzed with fear of this psychic fucking goose.
Yeah. So very, very exciting.
I'm so keen for that.
So, as I mentioned earlier, a bit of a Rocket Raccoon feel is that he is a lab experiment gone wrong, right? Maybe. So his backstory, and if we play it out, which I think would be goddamn hilarious for us to play on this podcast.
That's a bare minimum. Yeah. That's the one.
We'll probably save that for maybe one of the last episodes.
All right.
Where we can let off a bit of steam and then have a bit of fun. So... Scientist creates him in a lab. He breaks out of the lab. Ooh. He doesn't know where the lab is, so...
Probably doesn't know what a lab is.
Yeah, I mean, there's probably a bit of that too, as he's learning, as he's coming out of it. And so his big motivation when we hit the actual story of the goose is enrolled in school because it's smart enough to be like a kid.
I mean, you could just talk to one of the teachers and they'll be like, wow, that has superpowers.
Yeah.
Come in.
You technically qualify for this school.
You can understand language?
And
Yep,
every, every class needs that just weird-ass character that's in there that's like...
The kid in the corner eating his boogers.
Yeah.
Ours is a goose, alright?
It's just eating the cabbage.
It's eating a cabbage that it clearly stole.
Yeah, that goose is the strongest among us.
With its strength score, maybe, actually.
Yeah. It probably will be. So
I can't wait till, like, the bully comes up and tries to shake it down for its lunch money, and the neck just, like, elongates around it, and like, oh no!
Gives the bully the lunch money, and then as the bully turns around, neck just grabs the money back out of the pocket.
Yeah,
it's like,
super smart.
Issue resolved.
Yeah. Charismatic goose.
Yep.
Love it.
And so, his motivation is really going to be about find that lab, because there are other animals and they're being experimented on. And, they're his people now.
Yeah.
He wants to save them. And the scientist is still out there, so he's out there doing evil stuff.
I assume
still.
his experience wasn't fun.
No.
So, like, he wants to go back for, moral reasons.
That's right.
He's in it.
So he's going to be a moral goose, and his motivation...
Morally good goose.
Morally grey goose.
Ooh.
His core motivation is he believes in personal freedoms because he was in like a cage, and he's like, I don't want to see anybody in cages. People are like animals; they shouldn't be in cages either.
Of course.
So a lot of scenarios where we get into where people are being held hostage and stuff is going to really rile him up.
Right. So this ghost goose
is
now going to be a ghost goose.
Yeah.
Right, that's awesome. Yeah, this goose is going to be learning as it goes. It's going to see cages, but not only. It's going to see society cages.
It's going to be a chain breaker.
It's going to be one of those pictures where the goose is like, we live in a society.
Bottom 10.
And it's a cage.
No!
We'll just get a picture of Nicolas Cage. It'd be great.
So that's kind of the characters I have so far.
Yeah.
I have a couple other failed concepts that I'll just talk about quickly.
Yeah, you've got heaps.
So as Hayden mentioned earlier, as I spun through a lot of different concepts pretty early on when I was playing around with the books, I had a teenage boy his brain had been put in a robot body, and he designed a whole bunch of like Ultron type robots as his support.
It was a cool story hook though.
It was. Minions apparently in this is super busted, so it would have been like me playing 6 full strength characters.
Yeah.
So I kind of ditched that one.
It's if you wanted to play like a solo game, that'd be kind of fun.
Yeah, I think it would work really well for a solo game.
Or like, one-on-one.
Yeah.
Kind of deal.
Yep.
1v1 Mutants and Masterminds, mate.
The sweetest of PvP. I also tried to make
text-based RPG,
like a big strong man who just punches stuff really good. Think like a Hulk type character without being a Hulk.
Right,
kind of thing.
Some kind of intelligence, yeah.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. What else did I make here on this list? Yeah. Basically like Superman kind of thing, without being like as campy as Superman is.
Fair.
Just campy in a different way.
You could go double down on the campiness.
What do you mean?
Superhero.
Superman.
Like, so remember the first one you tested out that was like, hey, let's just go default, what do the numbers do?
Oh, yeah.
And it was like, Paragon!
Yeah. I mean, that's what that one was based on.
Oh,
so,
right.
Yeah. That was the end result of that experiment.
Oh,
just,
I only
3 or 4 of them down. So,
okay. Because I remember the first concept of that, and I was just like, yes, I am Paragon.
His name was Ultra Justice!
Yes.
Yeah, I got off that concept pretty quick, because I'm like, man, that would be boring to play, where all you do is go barge and go, Ultra Justice!
The first concept was good, because I remember you said you had to scream the powers, so like if he was muted in some way, he couldn't
I was talking about,
Maybe he can be a stupid background character that Jay just kills off.
Yeah.
Just for fun.
There's plenty of ways to make a Superman type thing, you could do that too.
Yeah.
The only other character I've mentioned was, I don't know if you remember my concept of Creepy Jenkins.
Yes. Racist ghost.
Yeah, so his powers were just purely dumped into insubstantial and immortality 19. So basically he dies every turn and respawns at the start of every turn.
Yeah.
Because he's a ghost and can't actually die. And his only other power, he has no ability to affect the physical world because he has negative strength score, so he cannot interact with the world apart from dying. And it's kind of hard to kill him because he's insubstantial force. I think it needed energy weapons to take him out.
And particular energy weapons at that, I think.
Yeah, I think. And then it was... he had an affliction ability, which was to slowly over time mind control somebody and start puppeting them around instead.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
Yeah.
Oh, best thing in my throat. Terrible character that'd be super boring to play. Your whole job is to die hilariously and then sit there for 3 turns trying to mind control somebody.
Yeah.
I don't actually think that would be fun, but it was a fun concept to spin out and learn how the rules work.
I think the concept worked well, but like when you sat down and were like, how would I play this? Oh god. We did that test run.
Yes, that's right. Yeah,
A couple of characters were like, why is this not working? What are we doing wrong?
Why is this not fun?
Why is this not fun at all?
Yeah.
Why are we just sitting here missing each other for like 12 minutes?
Yeah, and then we learnt how the game actually worked. And like, oh, now this is good.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's kind of it for the characters we've come up with.
So we've got setting and a bit of our characters. I mean, I've only got those 2 so far. I mean, I threw a whole bunch of concepts at a wall and was like,
Yeah. And I don't think we want to go too deep in anyway. Like, the class will get filled out. There may be other players in this campaign too that we don't know about as well. Other friends who may come on board, and so they may want to have 2 or 3 characters. We probably don't want to make it
I don't want to take all the powers. Like,
I mean, that's it. If someone comes through and they're like, oh man, I really want a portal person, I'll be like, cool, mine is gone.
Yeah.
All yours.
Depending. If theirs is like, if their concept, they say it out and it's terrible. No.
No.
Well, veto that shit.
My side character is better than your main character.
So I'll have 2 and you have none.
You can watch me play and have fun. Yeah, because that's what RPGs are all about.
Yeah, it's all about me. That's what it's about.
Yeah. Cool. I think that's kind of probably it for our first little introduction episode.
Yeah.
Where we've talked about, the characters we've got and what we're looking at doing. Our next episodes will probably be, us starting to...
hopefully roleplay out the character.
Yeah, sit down and probably roleplay out. I think probably what we might do is start with one of your characters.
Yeah, okay,
Might be the way to do it. And then we'll probably just alternate.
Save the best for last.
And we'll save the best till last,
the
which will be the Goose Game episode. Stay tuned, everybody.
Yes.
I predict that's probably going to be around episode 5 or 6.
10 million subs by then.
Yeah.
Already done.
Make sure you tell all your friends.
Oh, yeah.
The goose is coming.
The goose is coming.
The goose. Okay, so the only other thing is probably to mention our brand new social media accounts that we have for Dice Mates.
Oh, yeah, Dice Mates. That's what we're
So we are Dice_Mates on Twitter. You can find us there. There's only 1 post so far, but when the episodes go up and we have a bit of a schedule, that's where that information will start going.
We'll see how this all turns out.
Yep. We also have a Patreon, which we have not set up much yet, but be aware that it's there. And if you want to start supporting the content, we would
we'd
very
be like,
much appreciate.
Cheers.
Yeah.
That's great.
And then we can,
that could be the first reward tier. We'll send you some cheers.
We'll send cheers. We'll take some photos as well of our very first episode.
Yeah. Humble beginnings.
And we'll put them...
Oh, that's a good episode title.
Humble Beginnings. Ooh, I like that.
I think so many people... That's probably a trope.
Yeah, it's probably a trope.
Yeah, let's use it.
let's smash that trope.
Let's double down.
Of course, these episodes are going to probably just be hosted on YouTube. So if you're watching on youtube.com, we are Dice Mates there as well. Yeah. And I just want to remind...
We're Dice Mates everywhere.
We are Dice Mates everywhere. A couple places we're Dice Mates podcast, but that's okay.
That's fine.
I will put all that in the doobly-doo beneath the video. And that's Matt Colville's phrase for the doobly-doo. Yep. And I'm using that now.
It's ours now.
As a homage. Not as a theft.
Oh, sorry. Sorry, Matt. If you're listening.
Yep. There was one more thing I wanted to mention. Oh, yes, which is desecrate that subscribe buttons.
Ooh.
Desecrate them.
Desecrate them.
Yeah.
For us all.
Smash that comment, subscribe buttons that everyone likes saying at the end of their videos.
Could you imagine if the subscribe button was embossed? You'd want to press that.
Press it
now.
We
love you.
Alright, well, thanks for listening in.
If you got this far, hopefully you did. Thank you for doing it.
Thanks, friends.